As we enter a new year full of questions about where the market is heading, the best way to glimpse into the future is to unpack the past. So we're kicking off 2024 with the release of Rawlinsons' third quarter construction industry update. There's a lot to cover, so let's dive in. Overall, the final quarter of 2023 showed that there are still quite a few ongoing challenges in the construction sector throughout Australia, including significant lack of skilled labour availability, increasing fuel cost, contractors' insolvency, and historically high interest rates. One of the other major challenges in the industry at present is a severe lack of housing availability and affordability across all states,
with mortgage rate increases and skyrocketing property prices largely to blame.
This housing supply problem is only likely to worsen before it improves, as dwelling approval rates have decreased to their lowest rates since 2012. It's not all bad news though. On a positive side, the international freight costs have dropped significantly, material costs are stabilising, lead times are more predictable, and contractors' participation in tenders has increased. Government infrastructure spending has resumed very strong, especially on roads, hospitals, and social housing. And we're seeing developers shift their focus from building homes to sell towards more built-to-rent apartment projects, given solid demand for affordable rental housing. In terms of construction cost outlook, Rawlinsons have revealed that 2023 escalation forecast upwards for Brisbane, Sydney, Hobart, and Melbourne, though the projections for Perth was revised down slightly. Most states are still expected to see construction cost inflation of 5 to 8% this year. This means that construction projects across most of Australia will face continual elevated costs for labour, material, plant and equipment throughout 2023 and into 2024. The upside forecast revision indicates the peak of hype cost inflation may have passed, but steady price rise continues, making it another challenging year for builders, developers and project owners working towards controlling expenses. Drilling down on some state specifics, in Queensland, major projects like Cross River Rail and the Brisbane Metro are driving strong infrastructure activity. But the apartment sector is struggling with the high financing costs. All costs expected for the structural steel and glazing have increased between Q1 and Q3. And the escalation forecast for 2023 has risen from the previous forecast from 6% to 8%. The ACT market is stabilising though. Concrete, plasterboard and copper pipe costs continue to creep up. The Northern Territory is forecasting a 5.5% escalation this year, and all the costs increase between Q1 and 3. Labour shortages continues to put pressure on construction costs, and material costs continue to fluctuate due to high demands for certain materials like precast concrete, structural steel, joinery and electrical services. With limited suppliers in Northern Territory, contractors are now trying to secure materials from interstate, resulting in increased cost due to fuel and transport costs. And in Victoria, while material supply volatility has recently settled, labour shortage, high energy costs and rising interest rates remain challenging. For South Australia, construction cost escalations will likely remain in the 5 to 7% range for 2023. There are continued challenges around contractor insolvency, which is expected to persist into 2024. In Tassie, raw material and labour costs increased have generally levelled out. However, market capacity remains constrained, so labour costs continue to increase. Western Australia is finally starting to see some moderation in cost escalation after many years of rapidly escalating costs with double-digit percentage increase annually. However, that is not to say that Perth tendering costs are in decline or that the industry does not face many other challenges, including skilled labour shortages, lack of housing availability, and contractor insolvency. And in New South Wales and Sydney, shortage of skilled labour, uneven pricing continue, with contractors building in contingencies given the uncertainty. But public infrastructure spending remains strong, especially on transport, hospitals, and social housing. So what does this all mean for you? For contractors and builders, expect another challenging year in 2024. Skilled labour shortages, high interest rates, rising energy bills and lingering supply chain issues will continue to put pressure on the construction industry. Margins will remain tight. For developers and investors, feasibility will continue to be a major consideration before breaking ground on any new project in 2024. Carefully weigh up construction costs and timeframes, sales velocity, and financing expenses. Government infrastructure spending and built-to-rent schemes present opportunities, but housing affordability issues may dampen buyer demand. And for new home buyers and those looking to build in 2024, prepare for a complex process. With approvals at decade lows, construction activity lags well behind population growth, driving housing demand. Expect a drawn-out design and approval phase, then lengthy build times subject to labour and material constraints. Be ready to compromise on budget, specs, and timing before your dream home becomes a reality. Lots to unpack there. What are your thoughts? Share them in the comment section below. We've decided to make this a regular series, tracking the Rawlinsons report each quarter. So please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next update. Cheers.